Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Danielle, aka Lega-C. And tonight's video is probably going to be all over the place, but it's just something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And there's so much information on this topic, and I wasn't really sure how to approach it. So I just decided I'm just going to start talking. All right, so I am realizing, so as you guys know that have been watching this channel, I've been going through a spiritual awakening. I started meditating about a year ago, and then I took it to another level in the spring, around like April. And then literally in July, I basically started meditating several hours a day. And I've had little flashes of this experience throughout the year, but since July, it's been pretty hardcore. And then really like this past week, so I'm just like, I gotta talk about it. So in the Bible, and you guys, I should know this, but I don't remember the scripture that said this. And don't worry, this is not gonna be like all Christian. This is not about religion, okay? This is not. All right, so I'm sorry, I told you I'm gonna jump around, but just go with it. Okay, so I was going through a really bad depression, and I was like, I just kept saying to myself, there's got to be more. My dogs are really hyper. I haven't walked them yet because they were eating, and it's like over 100 degrees. I'm waiting for it to cool off a little. So there might be a little bit of a distraction in the background. It's okay. We're going to go with it. So anyway, okay, so I just started asking myself, I just started saying, like, there has to be more. There has to be more to life, because I couldn't think of a reason to live. And it was just so depressing. And so I started meditating and going within. And this one time I was meditating in April, and I was actually at this conference, and I was in my hotel room in Atlanta. And I was meditating. I was just like laying on my bed, and like I was like imagining the universe like coming through my third eye. And this flash of light, this flash said God, just like flashed in my third eye. It was like 3D, God, God. Because I was like, having this experience that was sort of like, almost felt like a drug, like being on some kind of weird trip. And it was like pure euphoria at this hotel in Atlanta. And then when I was feeling that feeling, I kind of was like, what is this? Like, what am I experiencing? And then God just flashed. The word God just flashed in my mind. And I've always kind of had that in the back of my mind, but I didn't really know what to do with it. Because I was like, God, what I had been grown up, like I was raised in the church, and that was not what I was taught, what God was. Like God, what I was taught was God was some like, white guy in the sky, and Jesus was somehow magically born from God, and then when we die, we're going to go to either heaven or hell, which scared the hell out of me. And actually, I feel like made me make some bad choices. Anyway, so I kind of brushed it away when I had that flash of God in my mind. I was like, yeah, whatever. I just thought, I didn't really think much of it, but it keeps coming back. And the more that I'm going within, the more research that I'm doing, and the more that I'm reading, I'm realizing, holy crap, talk about the mother of conspiracies, you guys. So this is what I realized. And there are a lot of really good YouTube videos on this subject. I've watched them a long time ago and thought they were weird, didn't make any sense to me. Watched them again recently, and they make perfect sense. So what I've realized is that the ultimate of all conspiracies, the ultimate, is that God has been hidden from us. Here's what I mean. You're God. I'm God. We are God. In the Bible it says, this is what I was going to say earlier. In the Bible it says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And it's like, how do you know if you know the truth or not? This is what I kind of struggled with when I was younger. Well, what I've realized is, all right, so have you ever had like a really hard class? Like sometimes I was in chemistry class, and there were like these problems we'd have to like, where you like balance the equations or do like those, I don't know if you guys have ever had chemistry. And some of them would get so freaking complicated. And I would just do them over and over and over. Like when I'd be getting ready for a test or whatever, I would just do the problem over and over and over, and until I got it. And like after a few days of practice, it would sort of just click. And I couldn't really explain it to anybody. I could show you how to do it, but until you practiced it over and over, you weren't really going to get it. That's what I feel like I have discovered with God. So everybody can say, oh, God is part of us. But what I realized is that I realized God. I feel God. I get it. You guys, I highly recommend, if you haven't been meditating or going within, I recommend it so much, because this feeling that I have right now, no one can ever take it away from me. And I've had little flashes of it in my life, but I didn't know what it was. Now I know what it is. And I'm not talking about a religious God. I'm talking about realizing that I have the power to create my reality. My thoughts and feelings and emotions create reality. And it's not just something that I'm trying, like the law of attraction, where I was just sort of trying it to see if it would work. It did work, so I wanted to know more. The law of attraction is a good place to start finding God. And I used to think, I don't want to know God because I'm going to start sounding like one of those weird religious people. And I probably am going to start sounding like that, but never religious though, just spiritual. Because what I'm realizing is we're all God, and the church, religions have stole this information and kept it for themselves. This is why it makes me so mad, but also it's like it doesn't even matter anymore, because once you realize it, they don't control you. You're free. So it's like, okay, you know how there's like 1% of the people that control the wealth and the power of the world. They know this information. So, you know, for a while we were like stuck on the Illuminati stuff, and we were thinking that, you know, they were devil worshipers and whatever. It doesn't even matter what they worship. It's the fact that they have this information that they know that they can create. So if they're pumping fear, and I kind of got into this on the Matrix video that I did, but I didn't get into the God part of it because, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really happy with my hair today. I feel like it looks the bomb. I'm manifesting long ass hair, so I'm pretty excited how this journey is going. Anyway, back to topic. The law of attraction is a really good place to start with spirituality, because it will work. It'll work, and then you're gonna be hungry. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Why did that work? And what else don't I know? What other magic tricks do I have? And you have a lot, okay? It starts with, oh, okay, I attracted a job I wanted. I attracted a business I wanted. Holy shit, I actually can attract anything and create reality, whatever I want, whatever. You guys, this is so huge. And so religions have stolen this information, literally removed it out of the Bible, and they have taught us that God is something in the sky and that we're going to go to heaven or hell when we die. Bullshit, you guys, bullshit. Heaven or hell. And Carlton Pearson was talking about this back in the day, and they called him a heretic. I really want to go back and listen to some of his old teachings, because really what we are learning is, and what a lot of people have known, but what I'm learning, and a lot of people that are waking up right now are learning, is that heaven and hell are experienced here on earth. If you're conscious of your body, and so what that means is, like, if you're thinking like your senses are all you are, like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm horny, I'm sleepy, I'm whatever you're feeling, those are symptoms of your senses. If that's being in touch with the body, that's actually living in hell, and that's actually being a sinner. There's only one sin. There's only one sin, and that sin is thinking that you are separate from God, thinking that you are separate from each other. That is the only sin. So if you're in your mind is the devil, okay? Your mind is the devil. Your consciousness is God. It gets so deep, and it's so simple. And I know it sounds, and you know this when you're born, you know this. Intuitively, you know this. Okay, so if you're in tune with your mind and your flesh, that's what they would say in church, like the ways of the world, the flesh, whatever. That's going to be things that you see, hear, taste, touch, and feel. But when you're in tune with your consciousness, you let go. This is where meditation is so valuable, because you let go and you become one with the universe. You can feel the energy. You realize that you experience it. Okay, you realize God. I can't put it into words. It's once you realize it, there's no unrealizing it. You just want to tell people. And that's why it's like you see these YouTubers on here woke as fuck. And I used to think, like, how do they have the nerve to just go on there and talk about anything? Because you realize none of it even matters. You are a God. You are God. You're God. And what you're saying, if you're in touch with your consciousness and you're awake, this knowledge, these words are coming from source. You are speaking the words of God. And so that's pure. That's beautiful. You know that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a comforting feeling that comes over you. I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, I lived in hell for so many years. I looked for people to validate me. And you guys, I know this is probably not making a lot of sense and I'm all over the place, but I spent so many years looking for people to validate me, being jealous of others, comparing myself to others, thinking I wasn't good enough. And all I had to do this entire time was be peaceful in my mind and ask God to speak to me and be part of me. And I think some of us in church, like I was taught, like, we were taught ask Jesus into your heart, which I guess there's some truth to that, but Jesus is already in you. God is already in you. You don't have to ask God in. You already have it. Okay. You don't have to ask for it. What you do have to do is just spend time acknowledging it, they say you got to spend time with God. It's just, all that means is, so I didn't get why meditation has these amazing results. I finally get it. When you're meditating and you really learn to quiet your mind, what you're doing, hopefully I wasn't covering up my mic. I just realized it was sitting in my hand. What you're doing when you're quieting your mind and you're meditating, what you're actually doing is you're connecting to your consciousness, aka God. So you don't have to do anything else. Just, you got to quiet your mind. That is it. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to like say, oh God, please talk to me. You really don't. All you have to do is just quiet the devil, the mind, your connection to your body, quiet that, and source will come. Source will come in. It's already there. You're just not connected to it. You're connected to it. You just don't realize it because your mind's going a million miles a minute because you've never practiced this before. And so once you start practicing this, it'll get easier and easier. And I'm no guru at all. I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I'm in my 40s and I'm just realizing this. And I've been doing this for about a year, but only hardcore for like about a couple of months. And I'm like, can you imagine how it would be if we were doing this our whole lives? This is what Jesus did. This is why. So I just learned today that Jesus was pretty much doing yoga the whole time and meditating. He was a yogi. That's what Jesus did. He spent the majority of his life before he was 30 being spiritual, out in the wilderness, meditating, getting to know himself. We don't learn any of that. We don't learn any of that. It's so crazy. Oh, it's like, so when you first start finding out that this stuff was hidden from you, yeah, it can make you mad. Because the governments have hidden it. Every government, every religion has hidden it. We're not separate from God, you guys. We don't have to ask. And songs and TV, all that stuff promoting fear, and just, I can't think of how many shows and movies I've seen that display God, portray God in way the wrong way. You guys, God is in us. God is us. And the reason that's so powerful is because that means you can be anything. You don't have to be sad and depressed. So when I was so, feeling like, God, there has to be more, and I was all down and suicidal, it's because I felt hopeless. Imagine, have you ever seen True Blood? I say this a lot because I used to watch True Blood and wish so bad that I had superpowers. Imagine you wake up one day and you realize that you have more powers than Sookie. I used to wish I was a fairy because she had superpowers. And I don't know, I just thought it would be really cool to be a fairy. You guys, we are better than fairies. I'm more than a fairy. I probably sound insane, but it's... Imagine if you realized that life had so much meaning. No desire to do drugs. No desire to drink. I've been smoking and drinking and doing drugs almost all of my adulthood life. And I have no desire to do any of that stuff anymore. None. I feel so high on life right now, you guys. I feel like I'm getting younger. Like, I literally feel like I'm getting younger. Today, I just want to tell you what I did today. And this is just the beginning. I went on a bike ride. I think I was out there for 2 or 3 hours and it was over 100 degrees. I was fine. I could have went forever, I feel like. I don't feel like I needed to stop. I just made myself stop because I was renting the bike. And I was like, I don't know how much this is going to cost, but I've been riding for so long. But it's the energy that is flowing through me right now is so powerful, you guys, and I know it's going to continue to get stronger. Oh, guess what else I did this week? I sent my first proposal. So I fully believe that by the end of this month, I will have over $100,000 in my bank account because of the source energy and the guidance that I've been getting. Have you ever noticed, like, have you ever worked like really, really hard on something? Like, say you're, I don't know, maybe you're writing. This used to happen to me when I did music. I'd be like writing a song and I'd get stuck and have writer's block and like couldn't really think of something to say for like a couple hours. And then I'd go for a walk or something. And then like the words would just start coming to me, or I'd see something, or I'd hear something on the radio, or I'd see something in nature that would immediately inspire me. And I could write it. And it came to me with zero effort. I would just see something that inspired me and it would flow. But when I was like trying to force it, then there would be nothing there. I feel like that's how my business is being created. Like I've sat here and tried to figure things out. I've sat here and tried to figure things out before. And I would be like, I don't get this. And I would get kind of frustrated. And then I would just go for a walk and I would have an idea like, you know what? I'm going to email this person and just reach out to them and tell a little bit about my business. Even though I don't even really all the way know what it does yet. Somebody asked for me to do contract work for them. And the contract work defined what my business would do, at least right now. So it's so crazy because I didn't even have to, and it was stuff I was already doing for fun. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So I thought that for me to make money, I had to have like this whole business model. That's what they tell you, right? You need to have your business model. Then you need to make a business plan. No, you don't. Just say that you have a business and start talking to people. And just start being yourself, being outgoing or whatever. But I just started connecting with people and kept putting the word out like, hey, I have my own business, And I was doing when I was doing that, I wasn't looking for customers. I was just building relationships for future customers. And I was doing a lot of favors for people, like not for money, just to like kind of build that, hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, for just to have those connections. I wasn't expecting anything back from the favors that I was doing. But because of the favors that I was doing, somebody kind of wanted to expand on the favors that I was doing. And was like, hey, can you do us an even bigger favor? Can you basically they want to access my network of people. And literally that's exactly what I wanted to do, was connect millions of people. And so, yeah, it's so exciting, you guys. I'm going to do a video on that. That's going to be its own video. That'll be its own video. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about, you guys go do some research on hidden teachings of Jesus. Look up, just put in YouTube, the hidden teachings of Jesus. Put in, another thing I noticed, there's a show on Netflix called The Family. Watch it. It's crazy. So it gets into like this weird kind of religious stuff, but they're using God, source energy. So some people might call it God, some people might call it source energy. some people might call it the universe. It can be called anything. It can be called Jesus. It can be called anything. But what it is realizing that you can basically create what you want. You can enslave people. You can free people. You can do your own business. You can do whatever you want. So that's what's so crazy, is that somehow this information has fallen into the wrong hands, and it's been being used for evil. There are a lot of people that access it that don't use it for evil, but we just don't know about them because they're not super powerful. I believe that Steve Jobs was one of the people that had access to it that used it for good. Some people might argue with that, but his book that he read every year, the only book that he had on his computer was the Autobiography of a Yogi, which I haven't read yet, but it's on my list of next books to read. I wanted to find an audiobook on it. I'm sure it's out there. But anyway, so this knowledge, you guys, it's real, okay? I'm not doing this for views. I don't even want to have a YouTube channel. If I end up getting views, I said this many times. The reason I'm doing this is for multiple reasons. Number one reason only. I've always wanted to make a video diary that I could leave my legacy, pun intended, behind after I'm gone. And just, the internet is such a beautiful thing. And what if, we're all putting stuff on YouTube, because a lot of us, I believe in reincarnation. I believe we get reincarnated until we do our correct spiritual work, until we're all the way connected with our higher self. And I think the work that you do in one life gets transferred into your next life. So let's say I was halfway woke in my last life. I'm a little bit more woke in this life. And if I can become all the way woke, then I would officially be free. There's still a lot I have to learn on that, but I don't know what happens after that. I think I'm not really sure. I think at some point you don't have to come back anymore, but I don't really know what happens there. You guys, I'm really new to this stuff. Okay. So, number one reason is I really wanted to have a video diary to leave behind, for my daughter, for my grandkids, for my great-great-grandkids. And then maybe if somebody felt like they were channeling my energy, they could come and listen to me and be like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling. I've experienced that. So, because maybe in the future, there'll be some way we could, because some people know who they were in their past lives. Like there's been people that said they were, I don't know, but famous people from old times. And I can't think of them right now, but there are people that remember who they were in their past lives. So maybe, wouldn't that be awesome if you could actually see videos of these people instead of just read some shit in a book that you don't even know if it's true? You could actually experience their personality. So that's the main reason I wanted to create a video diary. And then the second reason is because I know that, and this is sort of probably still ego sort of thing, but it's a sort of 3D way of thinking, but I still think it'll be valuable, is so when my company is $1 billion company, I think it'll be really awesome to come back here and look for people to see, damn, Danielle was just talking about having $100,000 and talking about random stuff on YouTube. And now she lives on a beach and she's the CEO speaking at all these events and da-da-da-da. And I just think how exciting that will be to see that, hey, you guys, I'm starting with just faith. Faith and faith. I'm literally operating on faith. And I just want to show how far faith can get you. I don't have any money. I quit my job not having any idea what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. But I trusted God, trusted myself, believed in myself. I still don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm continuing on in faith. It feels so amazing. It's such a beautiful thing. So anyway, okay, so that's the second reason that I want to do the video. And then third, if I can make extra cash off of it, hell yeah. I mean, of course. But my goal is I don't have goals to be a famous YouTuber, mainly because I don't really want to invest the time into making high quality videos or I don't want to do graphics. Maybe someday, but right now I've done that before. It was a lot of work. And gosh, I have so much respect for people that actually upload professional videos with graphics and the text and all that. It's You guys, I don't want to do that. I'm seeing plenty of people blow up on YouTube that are just talking to a phone. So that's kind of where I'm at. If I make extra money on that, then that's great. If I inspire one person to follow their dreams, it will all have been worth it. So it's not really so much for the money. It's more for, you know, I know if I'm going through this, I know other people have went through it. And, yeah, so anyway, make sure and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Are you subscribed to my channel? Subscribe and hit the bell. There's a little bell down there because you know if you don't hit that bell, you're not going to get notified. Make sure and give this video a thumbs up. And how do you feel about the hidden knowledge, the shit that's been hidden from us? And they created slaves out of us. They made us into slaves because they pump fear. So I don't watch the news at all. I don't watch the news. I don't follow politics. Anything that's going to make me have anxiety or be afraid. I don't want that in my reality. Nope. No, thank you. Because that's somebody else's shit. I'm very selective about the food that I feed to my soul. And if it's not teaching me how to be in touch with God, and if it's just going to make, no, for the most part, I mean, sometimes it gets sent to me. I'm like, okay, gosh, that's messed up, or wow, that's amazing. But for the most part, I don't seek it out. Somebody has to tell me about it for me to see the news. Anyway, and that whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, I don't know if you guys followed the Pizzagate stuff. I got really deep into that conspiracy when it came out, and I quit following it because, for one, a lot of those people got banned off of YouTube, and then for another thing, it turned into like this political kind of thing, and I don't like to pick sides. I just don't. If you support, you know, a certain party, that's your prerogative. I have no feelings about it either way. But it just became very one-sided, where I felt like there was a little bit of maybe bias going on in some of the stuff that was being reported. And I didn't want to be brainwashed because you guys question everything. And I was like, I hear fireworks. Interesting. It's daylight. I don't know why I'd be hearing fireworks, but you guys, I'm sorry. I'm not a conceited person, but I had such really low self-esteem for a while. I think I mentioned in another video, well, I did. I mean, I'm saying I think. I definitely mentioned in another video that my last guy that I dated, he was very abusive and manipulative and put me down all the time. And my self-esteem went to shit. And it's taken me about a year to get it back. But I am like really enjoying how I look right now. And I'm very thankful that I'm such a beautiful child of God. It took me a while to realize that again, but you know what? So are you. You are so beautiful. And it's not even a cocky, conceited thing. It's just happy, and the light of God is shining through me, and it feels amazing. It's good energy. Take that. So yeah. Oh, I also just learned what prana was today. So apparently it's like electric. This is crazy. All right. Now, this is some trippy shit. Apparently, we don't need to breathe to live. I know. It sounds crazy, right? Well, when you were in your mother's stomach, you were alive and you didn't breathe. How were you alive? You were getting your fuel from your mother. So there was fluid in your lungs. And then when you were born, they got that fluid out and then you had to breathe. But it's not the air. We don't need it. So we were taught that we need oxygen to live, but we actually don't. Now, I mean, we kind of do. Yeah, we do now, but I'm saying we didn't. At one point in time when we were a baby, we didn't need oxygen to live. So what are we doing when we breathe if it's not the oxygen that we need? Apparently, it's how are we powering our heart? Okay, everything needs power, right? I'm an engineer. I'm always messing with stuff about power. And like our car needs gas. If you have, your phone has a battery, your battery runs out, you got to charge it, you got to plug it in, you got to get juice to it, you got to get power to it. How the hell are our bodies powered? How do we have power? How am I doing this? Where is that power coming from? How is our heart beating? There's power going to it. So apparently the air that we breathe in is like, there's electric energy in it. That's prana. And that's what you're breathing in. It's not the oxygen, because I guess there's like an experiment that we breathe out like, I think like, I forget how much. I don't want to say because I'm going to say it wrong. But we breathe out almost the same amount of oxygen that we breathe in. Yeah, we do. It does convert it into like CO2 or whatever. But I'm saying this probably all wrong. Just Google it. Just Google, what are we getting? How is our heart powered? And it's powered by the energy that's in the air. That good ass prana. So we've just been lied to about so many things. Okay, let me tell you another thing that I just learned. Apparently people go, I can't do it. I just learned about it today. I just found out. But you stick your tongue up your nasal cavity, and apparently you can like reach, I don't know how long it takes. Probably takes years of practice to learn this technique. Okay, that made my roof of my mouth itch. You can stick your nose up your nasal cavity, and you can actually plug up certain parts of your nostrils that makes some kind of balance in your brain that like opens up your chakras. And you can push all the way up to like stimulate your pineal gland. I've heard it called both. I don't know what's the correct way. You can stimulate your gland, and it like will release some kind of like the fountain of youth nectar into your bloodstream. I'm not making this up, you guys. I don't know what it's called, but just Google putting your tongue up in your nasal cavity meditation. I don't even know what it's called, but I'm like, just when I thought I was having an understanding, this shit goes like so many levels deeper. I don't know how deep on it I'm gonna get, but you know, I'm hungry for this information. I can't get enough of it. I just can't get enough of it. So anyway, I want to encourage you guys to look up this hidden knowledge about Jesus. What the church didn't tell us about Jesus, what the church is hiding, what governments are hiding, and don't fret. I don't want you to feel like all doom and gloom, because let me tell you, there is one good thing. Once you realize this and you find God, guess what? You're immediately free. So it doesn't matter. It only matters as long as you think that they have power over you. Once you realize that you have the same amount of power as these powerful people, they don't have power over you anymore. So, you guys, I encourage you to meditate. I encourage you to look within. I encourage you to watch. I'm going to leave a link. Also, follow me on Instagram, Danielle to the max. I will leave a link to my Instagram. If you're still watching this video, damn, you must be bored, because I just got on here and talked. Because I was really excited to share this. I'm so excited to watch my progress and then come back to these like in a year and see like where I was at. Like, oh damn, I was just finding out about whatever the sticking your tongue up in your nose is called. And I don't mean that way. I mean through the back of your throat. It's crazy. Some people are doing it on YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to leave my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. And leave a comment down below. Share it on social media if you dare. Your friends and family might think you lost it. I'm not going to lie. I don't share this on my Facebook. None of it, to be honest, because, yeah, I don't talk to my family about this, really. Couple of them, but for the most part, nah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. Till next time. Peace.